Good day everybody and welcome back as we look at how our identity is not in who we are but in who God has called us to be. And over the last 2 days we've looked at that we are a child of God and that He has adopted us into His family and that we are part of His family. And yesterday we looked at some of the benefits of what that adoption means for us and what we can get excited about as a result of being called into God's family and the position we've been given there. And this morning I just want to follow on and carry on looking at who God declares us to be and in Him. And I want to do that by looking at 1 Peter chapter 2 verses 9. And it says this: "But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, so that you may proclaim the excellencies of Him who has called you out of darkness into His marvelous light." And I want to talk to you about each one of those aspects, and we're going to look at the first one this morning, which it says there, "But you are a chosen race." What does this mean, to be a chosen race? Now, the term here, race, is referring to a type or a group of people. It is referring to every person in the world that has made that decision to follow Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. And if we look at the definition of what a race is a group of people that have a distinctive characteristic that they all share. And in this case, what God is saying, that this race, this chosen race that He's talking about, is people that have made that decision to put their faith in Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is that distinctive characteristic that we all share. You see, within this chosen race, within Christianity, within who God is, there is no place for the white Christian race, or there's no place for the black Christian race, or there's no place for the Indian Christian race, or there's no place for the colored Christian race. There's no such thing that exists in line with that. But what there is there is this chosen race that is made up of people from every area of life, from all over the world. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, doesn't matter if you're black or white, doesn't matter if you're colored or Indian, it doesn't matter where you come from or what you have done. If you have put your faith in Jesus Christ and He has adopted you as a son into His family and into His kingdom, you are made up and you are part of this chosen race that He refers to here in Peter in this passage. And this is something so special to be a part of, and it's something for us to realize and get our heads around as Christians and believers, because I really believe that in the church, and especially for us as South Africans, there's so much division within the Church of Jesus Christ still, and there's still this division and this mindset between race and between color and between social class and whatever it might be between people, even within the church. And we need to realize that we are a chosen race. We are chosen by God to represent Him and who He is, and our identity lies in Him and who He is and who He has made us to be through that decision that we have made to follow Him and who Jesus Christ is. And that's what it means to be part of this chosen race. And it's not based on the color of our skin, but it's based on our belief in who Jesus Christ is. And as Christians, that means that we need to stand together, not based on the color of our skin or on our social class, but we need to stand together based on righteousness and who Christ is. You see, because every race has this defining characteristic within it, and for us that is righteousness. We need to stand together for righteousness, because righteousness represents Jesus Christ and who we believe in. And that's what it means to be part of this chosen race. It's something special, it's something beautiful, it's something unique, made up of people from all around the world that are completely different, but have one defining characteristic in common, and that is our belief in Jesus Christ. And that is something special for us to be a part of. And I just want to share with you a story that I believe so beautifully represents this. And this happened just over a week ago. One of the young men in our church was involved in a car accident just outside of town, and his car rolled. And And I got a call, and we jumped in the car and we went out to accident scene, and by the mercy of God, everything was fine. He wasn't injured. His car was a write-off. There was another car in the accident that was a write-off, and no one was injured, only by the mercy of God. But while we were at that scene, and while we were picking up all the pieces and taking all the items out of this car that had been left, so we transferring them to another car, this man from a different race, this black gentleman, walks up to us and he starts asking us questions, and he's like, what happened here? We said, car rolled. He's like, was anyone injured? And we're like, no. And at first we're kind of like wondering, why is he here asking us these questions? Is he just being nosy? Does he just want to see what's going on? And then he said something so amazing. He said, you know what? We can give God all the glory that no one was hurt here today. And that just stood on my mind. And as soon as he said that, I identified this man as being a man of God and a man who represents Jesus Christ. And he looked around and he said, who was the person involved in this accident? I said, it was this young man. And he said, come, let's just pray. And we all gathered around, from different race groups, as we would look at it in the world today, different colors, and we put our arms around together and we just prayed together. And in that moment, what was represented in this place was not differences of race. You see, we could have looked at that situation and looked at everything that divided us as people, from the color of our skins to the culture to the way that we live our lives, and within our different cultures. But there was one thing that united us, and that was our belief in Jesus Christ. And that one thing that united us, tied us together, and that made us the chosen race that God has called us to be, His people. And I want you to remember that as you go through this day, that anyone who puts their faith in Jesus Christ is part of this beautiful chosen race that God has united to be His church. Have a great day and represent Christ in this world today.